the adrenaline of it being over, and then also the relief. The procedure itself was so fast. It was as if I was gonna have the worst cramps of my entire life to none at all. But if you clicked on this video wanting a positive experience, you've come to the right place. Friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing super duper well. I am not doing super duper well. I'm actually doing very nervous right now. Very nervous, shaking and nervous, because we are off to get the HSG procedure done, and I don't know if this video is ever gonna make the light of day, but just in case, thought I would record it and let you guys know how it goes. I accidentally looked up a few videos myself yesterday or last night, and they didn't actually scare me. So like accidentally, I definitely wanted to see different people's perspectives, but I made sure to type in positive experiences. And then I stopped on one video of a doctor explaining exactly what would happen and different concerns and things like that. And she was very soothing, very calming. I'm convinced that's the only reason I was able to sleep pretty well last night. So I will leave that video linked down below because she was awesome. And I'm just going in with positive vibes. I'm going in not expecting anything, just understanding what they're going to do. I didn't know that I was getting this done like until Monday, and it's Wednesday right now. I feel like I didn't get the time to kind of mentally prepare, understand what's going on, because as soon as I left my doctor's, my OBGYN's office, someone called me from the hospital that this is getting done at, because it's not the same office, and they took all my information, they verified insurance, all that, and then all of a sudden I have this appointment. And it was almost canceled a couple times as well, because the insurance didn't go through like as fast as they were needing it to for such a quick appointment. So I thought I was gonna get more time, and then I wasn't gonna get more time, and then now I am on my way. And I found out like yesterday, right before the office closed, that yes indeed I still have this appointment. So I'm a little bit nervous, as one is, but I've learned over the years that I have zero shame letting the doctors know how I'm feeling and what would help me through things like this, because honestly, one, you might never see the person again that's doing this procedure. For example, they might just be someone that your OB put you or referred you to and just to get this done, or even if it is someone that you might see a few more times, you can always switch doctors. So if they're not making you feel comfortable, or they're making you feel silly for asking questions or saying, hey, can you walk me through exactly what you're doing? I'm very nervous, then they're not the doctor for you. So that's what I'm going in like, but it doesn't make me any less nervous for sure. But I'm gonna let them know that I'm very nervous so that they're nice to me, compassionate and gentle. I took ibuprofen, I'm deathly allergic actually to ibuprofen. I took Tylenol a little bit before we left because they said that can ease the cramping a little bit, and I know that I get very severe cramps on my periods, so I took that. The thing that's calming me also, and we'll see after the procedure, is that I get, again, very bad cramps. So I'm used to very bad cramps. Not that this can't be worse, not that it can't be better, but I am very used to sitting and breathing through pain and waiting for it to pass. Jack is used to seeing me breathe through pain and waiting for it to pass.
Used to is not the term I would use. I have witnessed.
You've witnessed it, and it does pass. So I'm a little peeved that Jack can't come in. They said he can't come in to the room, but we're gonna try. We're just gonna pretend that we don't know that information, and we're gonna walk in and just see what we can do. But at least he's gonna be in the waiting room. The reason why he can't come in, and I've seen that on videos actually, at first I thought it was because of COVID, but actually it's an x-ray room. So they just don't have people in x-ray rooms anyway.
Oh, it's right here?
Patient and visitor parking right there. That's what it says.
Hi there. We have an appointment at 10:30. Yes. Thank you. All right. You ready?
Yes. I'm gonna leave you guys here, but we're going in and send good vibes, even though this happened very far in the past. If you guys ever see this video,
I'll protect her. Don't worry.
Thanks, Bubby. Appreciate it. Oh great, not me thinking that I can just push the clean clothes back farther on the bed and then you guys won't see them. You guys, I honestly should have recorded myself in the car right after, but the adrenaline of it being over and then also the relief that I felt, and I'm still so relieved, like whenever I think about how I don't have to think about doing that again, is great. Honestly, it's so great, but even if I had to do it again, now I know that there's nothing to worry about, honestly. And I am talking from my personal experience. I know everyone's experiences are going to be different, but if you clicked on this video wanting a positive experience and feeling reassured about the procedure, then you've come to the right place. I literally couldn't stop telling my doctor how relieved I was, and she was so happy, like she was so great. I'm gonna just take you guys through exactly what happened from beginning to end, and then I'll let you know when we get to kind of the medical part in case you just don't want to hear those things. So if you're just looking for the vibe of everything, let's start from the beginning. So I go in, I'm nervous. Nervous as heck, literally shaking. I don't think I stopped shaking until probably like 5 minutes ago. I've just because of the adrenaline and all of that. But I go in, they take our temperature for COVID reasons, ask us if we have any symptoms, and then they gave us a mask to wear, a medical grade one. It was very heavy duty, very nice, kind of slightly pink, which I'm excited now that I have a pink one. They tell us where the x-ray room is. Go down the hall, there's a receptionist at the x-ray and she checks us in. She's very nice. Everybody is so nice so far. Jack is able to come with me to that room, which we weren't sure if he was able to go through to that room. We were just waiting to see if somebody stopped him at any point. So we go through to that room and he is there with me. She says that someone will come out and get me and also let us know if Jack can come back as well. But for now, we're sitting in that waiting room. I actually have to pee really bad because I was very nervous. So I asked where the bathroom is and I go to the bathroom. Maybe 5 minutes later, somebody came to get me and she was so sweet. She asked, she was like, is it June? And I was like, yes. And she's like, hello, how are you feeling? And I said I was nervous. I was just very upfront. And she said, trust me, whatever is going through your head right now, it is not going to be nearly as bad as what you are thinking right now. And I was like, okay, that already makes me feel better. It feels like she understands what might be going through my head right now. So that makes me feel better. Very sweet, asks me what I'm up to today, all of these things. And we go back to the room. It's kind of like a waiting area and I took a video of it. There weren't any separate rooms. It was just kind of a bunch of inlets for people to wait and recover and lay down if they need to, and they have a curtain to pull over you. But there's no separate rooms. It's just more of a waiting area, get your vitals, things like that. They did let me know that they are backed up today, and I will say this, I am recording this September 1st actually of 2021, and so between staff shortages as well as everything that might be going on, there were a lot of people in the x-ray area, and just hearing the nurses going back and forth was a little bit nerve-wracking because it just seemed like a lot of hustle and bustle. But everybody that I talked to was so nice, and even though they were overwhelmed, it seemed, and a little bit busy, they seemed to just have each other's backs, and I thought that was really, really freaking nice to hear. But the camaraderie was really great. It was a great feeling. Everybody was so sweet to me. Everybody who talked to me was very nice, not dismissive at all. And before I sat in that chair, I should just say, she had me go to the bathroom and change in my gown, and I also had to take a urine sample for pregnancy reasons. So the fact that I peed before coming there was such a bummer, and I started panicking a little bit, but everything was cool. I was able to do that, and I switched into my gown and she told me exactly what to do every step of the way, and that's when I sat down in the chair, and she gave me a warm blanket to put over my lap so I was comfortable and warm, and she told me I could just scroll on my phone and text my husband and things like that, and she'll be right with me when she can. So I think I waited there maybe 20 minutes, maybe, and the nurse that had taken me back let me know that the PA doing the procedure would come talk to me and bring me through everything, what to expect, answer all of my questions, and I already felt really good that someone was just going to come by and answer my questions. She answered as much as she could, and then someone was going to come by and answer more of my questions. The PA came over, the one that was doing the procedure, and she was already very sweet. She asked me how I was doing. I immediately said, I'm nervous, and she said, well, I'm going to talk you through exactly what to expect, then we're going to answer any of your questions, and by the end of it, my goal is to make you feel much better about this. And I was like, thank you, that's all I wanted. I don't know if anyone out there watching this is the same, but I always assume that I'm going to get dismissive, nasty people when I'm in medical situations, and I've actually never gotten those. I just feel like I'm gonna be nervous, they're gonna be dismissive. That's not true. I've gotten it one time, and maybe that's where it stems from. It was like years and years and years ago, and I didn't feel like I could stand up for myself and make them realize that I need to be more comfortable. I think it stems from that, but I always go into medical procedures or medical situations just thinking that they don't want to help me or they don't care, and that's just not true. Everybody there, it was so clear that they cared about their patients. Like if someone was in pain, they would come over and be like, oh, I am so sorry about this, you know, let me try to help you, and all this stuff. They were just so sweet. Regardless of the shortages they were experiencing or the stress they were under and all the patients that they had, they were just so sweet, and it was so clear that they were there to calm me down and help me along the way. So I just want to let you guys know that if you guys always expect them to not be like that, I feel you. I always expect that too, but that was not the case here. So the doctor's in there and she's explaining everything that will happen, and I like that. I like hearing everything that's going to happen. She tells me everything that I might experience, and honestly, it's everything that I kind of read online. Like I knew exactly what she was talking about, which I will also go through with you in just a second when we get to the medical stuff and the actual procedure. But one of the things that did stick with me that I really wanted to let you guys know about is when she was going over the risks of everything. She said there would be some minor to moderate cramping most likely, and I knew that. That's what I'm afraid of, and that's due to them opening up the cervix as well as putting dye within the uterus, which expands the uterus, which is exactly what happens when we have cramps on our period. So that's why people say that it gets crampy. And my OB that scheduled this procedure for me at this hospital rated the cramps to like a 6 or a 7 in her mind. She said that's what to expect, so I felt good. I knew what to expect. And then she said the next 2 risks, she has been a PA at this hospital doing these procedures all the time for 10 years, and she has never once seen a patient that has gotten either of these risks. That is not to say that they don't happen. I'm not saying that they don't happen, but hearing that out loud, and I already knew they were rare from what I read online, but hearing that out loud from the doctor that was going to be doing this procedure with me, it made me feel really good that she personally, in 10 years of doing this, has not seen anything of these ones. So one risk was that I could be allergic to the dye, and I am allergic to ibuprofen, so I know exactly what the reaction looks like. So I was like, of course, if there's someone that's going to be allergic to the dye, it's probably me. Spoiler alert, wasn't. Everything's fine. But that reaction would happen right on the table. She said the mouth would start to get numb, a little itching in the throat, as well as some hives would start to develop. And they have all of the things ready, able, and willing to treat me if that happens. And so I could just communicate out loud if I was feeling anything like that, and they would be there to treat that immediately. So that's the first risk she said she's never seen before. And then the second one, if it were to happen, would be in the next 48 hours after the procedure. So I will keep you guys informed. But the second one is a infection of some sort within the uterus, and that can come on through a fever, pain, things like that. So if I start to experience anything after the day after or anything like that, I'm going to call my doctor, and they know exactly what to do. They'll prescribe me an antibiotic, and we will be on our way. So she brings me through everything. By the time she is done explaining everything and calming my nerves and really explaining everything through, I feel much better. And then she said, okay, when the room's ready, I'll come get you and I will bring you through. You can leave your stuff here. She told me exactly what to do, so there wasn't any question. Like, you know, the awkward when you should get up and should you grab your stuff and, you know, bring it in and shuffle your way. There was none of that. They knew exactly what to tell me and exactly what to do. While she was explaining everything, she did mention that there would be another person in the room, a nurse that would stand up by my head, which also made me feel really good. She was like, you can hold her hand if you want to. She's there to just monitor you, be an extra set of hands in the room. And I was like, that's amazing. Like having like one person here near me with the comfort and having her doing the procedure, I felt good about it. The other thing that she said, because she could tell I was nervous, was that the room that we were about to go in, it's very big, it looks very scary, and I really appreciated her telling me that so that I just knew that before I walked in so it wasn't shocking. She said there are a lot of things and procedures that can happen in that room and what that room is used for, but we're only going to be using it because there's an x-ray in there and because it has a closed door. That's literally it. So then 10 minutes later, about she came to get me. Honestly, the waiting was the longest part because they were backed up, and then the procedure, just before we get into the medical things, the procedure itself was so so fast. Like, I can't even tell you. I think I was in the actual room for less than 5 minutes. And the procedure itself that was going on, honest to God, it was like less than 2 minutes. I promise you, it was so fast. I was shocked at how fast it was. The 5 minutes of everything was me getting in there, laying down, and then sitting up. They made sure I was okay and her explaining the imaging and things like that. Otherwise, it was so fast. So this is the part where we're gonna get a little bit medical for those of you who want to know exactly what to expect and what it kind of felt like and what they were doing. You want to skip this part though, I'm gonna put a timestamp of when I'm done explaining that, and you can skip to that part where we just wrap things up. So I walk in, I've got my gown, they actually wrapped the warm blanket around me as well, so I just felt all covered and comfortable, and I get in and there was a big room, very, very big room, but there was a table in the middle as well as a place to put my head, regular paper stuff, you know, a blue pad at the end and stuff where my legs would go, my lower half would go. So they led me up on the table, I got up, they got me into position, she asked me to scoot down a little bit, I did so, and the first step she did was apply, I think it's called iodide, it's the brown stuff that is a disinfectant, and she puts it down there so that it doesn't sting. She said normal disinfectant, we don't really want to make you uncomfortable down there, so that's why they use it. It is brown and it can stain clothes, so she let me know that before, and unfortunately my shirt, the Van Halen one that I had, it was very long, so it like scooted down here, and I got some iodine on it, so Jat's in the laundry right now trying to get that out. But anyway, she puts iodine on the area, and then she immediately started verbalizing everything that was going on. So she put, I don't know what this thing is called, but I call it the duck thing, but you guys know, whenever you go and you get your pap smear, this is the duck thing that happens. So she inserts that, and then she takes a tube that is so small, she described it as a piece of spaghetti, and that is what she's going to use. It's the tube that will help to insert the dye into the uterus, and she puts that through the cervix. And when she puts that through the cervix, there is also a thing that expands the cervix, and I actually felt it. She did a click and I felt a little pop, just a little one, and then no pain though, just a popping sensation. And then she did another click to open it up just one step further, and it was just another pop. And she explained right then and there, she was like, you might feel some cramping starting to come on. And right when she said that, I definitely did. It was a kind of a slow, this is how I would describe it, a slow ramp up. But you know when you have period cramps and they're even just slower ramp, I was like, oh, I'm kind of feeling oh, okay, and then maybe an hour later they get a little worse and stuff like that. This was just that, but very condensed in a period of time. So ramped up like this, literally within seconds, but it's still manageable. And then seconds later, she told me she was inserting the dye, and she had the monitor up too, and you could choose to look at it. It was kind of slightly behind you, so I could just kind of go like this to watch, and I was watching until a certain point, but I was watching and I saw the dye go in at that moment. This all happens within maybe 20 seconds of her opening the cervix and then inserting the dye and explaining everything. I saw the dye start to go in, and then that is when I started feeling the intense pain. I'm not going to lie, it was very intense. It lasted less than 20 seconds. It was painful, but immediately when she saw the dye go in and she started seeing the dye go up the tubes, she took everything out because the dye was inserted, it was doing its thing, there's no reason for anything to be in there anymore. She took everything out, and as soon as she took everything out, literally within like 20 to 30 seconds at most, the pain started subsiding immediately. It was as if I was gonna have the worst cramps of my entire life to none at all. So easy. If I had known how fast the pain would go away as soon as they pulled everything out, I would have felt so much better. So I'm here to tell you that that is what happened. She was so good, and these doctors are trained to do these things. They do them all the time. And I audibly told her, I was like, if it's feeling a lot better, I'm feeling a lot better, okay, I'm good. And she was like, okay, why don't you just lay there for a quick second while it ramps down like all the way. And then while it was ramping down even more, totally manageable, I looked over. I thought the image was really cool, actually. I was really excited about it. I could see my uterus, and I could also see the tubes, and they don't go like this, by the way. They're not like the perfect thing. I've never seen mine before. They're not like the perfect, image or whatever. They're kind of just like if you put, and this is how she described it in the room before the procedure, as if you put like a string on a table. They're kind of just like a small string that you lay on a table and it falls however it wants to fall. And then she started to explain what everything was. This was a still image from when everything was going on, when it was at its peak and she saw the dye coming out and everything. So she explained that this was her tube, there was a tube, and then I saw the shape of my uterus, which she liked the shape of my uterus, so I felt really good about that. She explained that the dye on this side, she could see it was coming out, so that is great news, and then it was also coming out on the other side. And then she looked at me and she said, this is a perfect HSG. So for me, it was a very positive experience. Would I do it again? Like, no. You know, like, would anyone do that again? No. But it was fine. Everything was good. Everything was okay. They were so nice, and I'm here to tell you, although everybody's experience is different, doesn't do you any good looking up or reading about bad experiences. Like, living it and being scared of a bad thing that might not happen is so much worse than just going in and taking it as it is. And I'm here to just say that I had a very positive experience. Everybody was really nice, and I do not want you to worry anymore. You can stop watching videos now. You can end with this video and also the video that I linked down below that has a doctor explaining the procedure as well that helped me feel really good. But yeah, I just really wanted to share this experience, and I also don't think that there's a lot of positive ones out there. So I want to contribute to the positive stories of HSGs. And I think that's all I have to say about that. I think I talked your all's ear off quite a bit, actually. So guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you do so down below, because at this point, if I'm sharing this, you guys are coming on the journey with me. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Everyone, do not forget to give this video a big old thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one, my friends. I'll see you later. Bye!